Hey everybody, this is Josh,
Brian,
and Thomas.
and this is Heritage Cycles Podcast.
Sure is.
Glad to have you riding with us today.
We got a lot planned, so let's get to it here. Number one on the agenda. What are you drinking, Josh?
I'm drinking a lovely fizzy beer from Columbus Brewing Company called Thunder Lips. Apparently it's experimental pale ale.
Experimental. What
So,
about you, Thomas?
I got the Brewdog Punk IPA.
Did you get the 8% again?
No, I drank that one earlier.
And I'm drinking lovely Heritage Lager, appropriately named by the Four String Brewing Company. Brewing Company.
Yep, these are, if I may note, these
They're
are all local
all
to
local
us,
brews.
which is Grove City, Ohio. Well, they aren't all brewed in Grove City, Ohio,
Columbus,
but Central Ohio. But we are in a bike shop in Grove City, Ohio, called Heritage Cycles, which is where we are broadcasting weekly.
Every week. Let's not promise that.
Yeah, well, we're gonna give it a whirl. We're gonna try
I'm
that.
going to try. All right. Next up, Josh, Gear of the Week.
Gear of the week. We're gonna talk about things that we like in cycling. This is gonna be a little segment that we are calling Gear of the Week. So one of my favorite things in cycling is to be able to travel from one place to another and carry my junk with me.
Mm.
What kind of junk?
I got all kinds of junk. Usually I'm riding to work. And when I come to work, I need to bring some junk. Usually it's in the form of food. So I bring a lunchbox or some coffee or some tidbits.
Okay. So
Doodads.
how are you going to do that?
Well,
How do you plan to carry all this
my
junk?
favorite way to haul junk is with a basket on the front of my bike.
But aren't those only for girls?
No.
Not at all, right?
Boys and girls.
Boys and girls.
And
don't wanna-
everything in between.
You don't want to just use a backpack?
Nope, I don't want to use a backpack
Why
because it
not?
makes my back all sweaty
And all
stuff,
packed.
Jack.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. Because you can buy, how much does a rack cost?
A rack?
A basket.
A basket? You can get a walled basket for like $25-$30.
It's
And
just
it's
cheaper
made-
than a backpack.
It's cheaper, and it's always on your bike, so you can throw whatever in it. You could put a backpack in the basket if you wanted to.
So what about the weight weenies? What do you think one would weigh?
I don't really care about them so much.
Well, they might want to. They might not know. They might want to.
They don't
Carbon
weigh very
fiber
much.
one.
I don't. Well, you can talk to Wald about that, but yeah, walled baskets are generally made of steel. They're usually they're not really heavy though. They're real thin wired. They are made in the United States, Maysville, Kentucky, I believe. So actually pretty close to us.
What about racks?
Racks are good too.
You got racks on your bike?
I have a front rack that holds my basket.
That's a nice rack too. I always
Thanks,
compliment you
homie.
on your rack.
I know you do. It's so nice of you. So, yeah, that's my favorite way to carry junk. Thomas might have other ways to carry junk since he carries more stuff than I do.
In his hands.
Jimmy carries.
Jimmy carrying it.
Appropriately named? Is that what you guys call it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's very difficult to do for me, so I
Or we call it the running back.
Ew. I don't know if I like that.
running back.
The running back, not the running bag.
Oh. The first one was better, I guess. The second one doesn't make much sense.
I mean, you're carrying it like a running bag.
Oh, okay. The running back.
I thought
got
you
it.
meant like running back because you always have subs in there.
It's dripping out.
The drips.
All that mayonnaise,
Ugh.
extra vinaigrette,
Extra hot outside.
Hot mayonnaise.
hot mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. All right. We're done with that. and and horse shit. So spring is coming up, right? Everyone's grabbing their bikes off the ceilings or pulling them out of the well, everyone should be ahead of the curve here. So if I just Johnny Rider pulling my bike down out of the ceiling or whatever, what do I want to do to my bike so I don't ride it down the road and my wheel fall off or something breaks or snaps, that I don't have to bring it to a bike shop? Obviously, the obvious answer
Right.
is take it to a local bike shop and get a tune-up. But I want to ride right now today because it's a warm spring day. What are some things that I can do to make sure that it's going to ride okay?
No, I want to emphasize, take it to your
Well,
not just because we own a bike shop and we stay afloat by customers bringing us bikes and giving us money to do such service, but we are more experienced in.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I'm looking at you.
I know.
I just
I
need
believe
your
you.
nod of approval.
I believe you. Thomas supports you too. He won't.
Thomas
he
is
nods.
I think he's sleeping.
He's nodding his
taking a
head
nap.
on a podcast. So that's how.
He's
how he
taking a
does.
nap.
It's a nodcast.
It's a nap nod. So bring your bike to a bike shop if you can. But yeah, if you're a DIYer and you want to check over your bike yourself, and that's pretty smart to do anyway. You want to be able to find things wrong with your bike and be able to fix them on your own in case you're out and not near a bike shop to get it fixed. So yeah, it's good practice to tinker as much as you can on your bike so you can find potential problems before they
But
do.
what do you do on the bike?
So what would you do, Thomas? First thing, what do you do when you grab your bike and you haven't ridden in a long time? What do you check?
I look at my chain first of anything on my bike to make sure it's not black,
Okay.
or rusty at that.
All right. And what do you do if it is either one of those things?
Try to get a simple degreaser, maybe a rag. Try to go over it. If I don't have anything like a chain cleaner or anything like that, you can tape toothbrushes together actually to clean your chain off. Just add some degreaser, run it through there. It'd be better than just going with
Raw dogging it?
Yeah, going with a dirty, gunked up chain.
All right.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
That's good
And
advice. So the next thing I would check is your tire pressure or tires. And just look at the tires. Those are the things that are wrapped around your wheels.
shake them. Make sure
Just
they're
shake 'em.
tight.
Yeah, smack them around a little bit.
Wake them up.
Check the pressure. Make sure they're not too low and not overinflated, but more than likely they are too low if you're grabbing them off the ceiling of your garage.
What problem could you run into with some low pressure, Josh?
Some Thomas, my friend here, knows a lot about. It's called a pinch flat.
Oh yeah, I get those a lot.
Yeah, he does. Because he forgets. So if you run too low pressure in your tires, then if you hit a bump or a rock or roll off a curb, then that tire is going to get squished and potentially smash the inner tube inside the tire and cause a flat. So you don't want to have that.
So pump up your tires.
Pump up your tires to
Yeah.
the proper PSI
Yeah.
that it suggests on the sidewall of the tire.
Yeah. Make sure your quick disconnects might be tight.
Yep.
You know,
That's a good one.
Just in
Make sure
case.
your wheels don't
Yeah.
fall off.
shake them around.
Yep.
Make
Make
sure
sure
they're
you're-
on there because that's the last thing you want. You'd rather get it flat than your wheel fall off, I think.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
So maybe you check that before your tire pressure
Yeah.
and
But-
your brakes.
Brakes are good.
Brakes
Brakes
are
are good
good.
to check if you want to stop. If you don't want to stop, don't worry about it.
You can Flintstone it. Don't matter.
Yeah, don't do that. You'll ruin your shoes.
All right. So I think we covered that
Did we cover everything?
pretty well.
I don't think so. Did we? Yeah, check all things for play. Give everything like a little shake. If you want to, you can engage your brakes and kind of rock the back and forth. You can feel if you have some play in your headset. Kind of wiggle your cranks back and forth if you have. Check and see if you have play in your bottom bracket.
And if you do, then you are not experiencing these things. Do not attempt to tighten it yourself.
Yeah.
It'll do more damage than good.
Right. Unless you want to look into it and figure out how to do it properly.
YouTube it.
YouTube it, yeah.
You still need some
Proper
specific
tools.
tools. Yeah.
Most likely had 3 or 4 of them.
Yes.
Right. And some patience.
So I'm sure we'll touch on some more of that stuff later on as it gets warmer, or at least warmer here for us. As I just said, it is snowing in March, so no one's riding by right now. Next up, this is where it gets fun right here. The Heritage Homage. All right. This is where we're going to go back in time and school y'all. Not that you couldn't Google it, but it's funner to hear us tell you the history of bicycles. So you guys are looking at me so intently right now. Like
I'm
you can't wait
excited.
to hear about
I know.
it.
I want to know what's going to happen.
All right. So to get it started here, 1418 was the first year that a human-powered contraption was made by a guy named Giovanni Fontana.
That was 600 years ago.
Yeah. 15th century Italian physician and engineer. made the first human-powered contraption, but it had 4 wheels.
It was not a bike.
It was not a bicycle, but
It was a double bike.
I don't know. It
Not really.
It had 4 wheels, but used a continuous rope connected via gears to the wheel. So it was rope driven.
Right.
There's
no like.
They should bring that back. Actually,
There weren't any pictures or something, was it?
no,
Is that
no.
true?
It's in 1400.
Yeah, no photographs, or there's probably some
There was
drawings.
no
out there.
videos. They didn't make any YouTubes.
I think there might be a hologram of it that they produced.
There might be. So that was basically 1418 is when the party basically got started, but not until 400 years later, someone decided let's make a 2-wheeled version. So in 1817, there was this guy.
Well, it might not have even been related. They might have not even known that first invention.
No, I'm sure they did.
Existed.
Right. Yeah, but you will soon see the necessity of why they created this thing.
Yeah.
So, 1817, a guy named, this is the best part of this entire thing.
You're going to read
Carl
all the name?
Dreas. But he was known by the street thugs as Carl Frederick Christian Ludwig Freiherr Dreas von Sauerbrunn.
I knew that.
That was his entire first name. We didn't just make that up. So he invented something called a hobby horse.
Yeah. So it's sort of like a modern balance bike, but for adults.
For adults, with completely made out of wood with metal wheels. And this was back before even having balance was a thing. Nowadays, everyone has balance. Like you kind of brought up and has balance. No one had balance.
Everybody had balance.
So they didn't want to put their feet up. So they just walked it around everywhere.
Right. They didn't realize that was possible. They didn't have the science behind the balance of a bike.
Right. That comes into play.
It does later.
Yeah. So this guy who also invented some other things like the first typewriter with a keyboard, a stenograph machine, and the first meat grinder, among other things. He actually, if you Wikipedia him, he's kind of got a crazy life. Got the shit beat out of him a lot. But so apparently there was a volcano eruption that killed a bunch of crops and such. So people were starving and started eating horses. They needed another way to get around since they were eating all their forms of transportation.
I was going to say, ew.
So then what happened, he made this bike, and he rode it 4.3 miles. It took him an hour,
That's
but
quite
he
a
did
bit.
it. So after that, the next year they had a good harvest. So they basically everyone rode these bikes on the sidewalk because obviously the roads were bumpy and dirt
And filled with turds of horses.
Yeah, and so no one wanted to ride them on the road.
Carcasses.
And then they banned them from the sidewalks because they weren't safe to be on the sidewalks, and they were hurting people and rolling over toes and all that good stuff. So
They had nowhere to go.
yeah, so then they just kind of fizzled out, stopped riding them until later on. But
We'll get to that. You have to check back in.
yeah. So and also what into that is what the thing said is a roller skating boom,
Oh, really?
which is what
Didn't read
improved everyone's balance because everyone was roller skating and then realized. All right, so more on the heritage as we move along. We'll be covering some things more in depth than others, but that was just the beginning there. So we're going to move along to try to do a segment pretty as much as we can think of something for a bike hack, something that most people could do on their own, maybe something that if you got caught on the trail or stranded somewhere, or maybe a trick on cleaning something. But this week we're going to go over one of Josh's favorite hacks to do.
A buck boot.
A buck boot, and he will tell you all about that.
I will. So if you find yourself out riding and you get a slice, this won't really help you much if you just get a puncture. But if you get like a slice by something, I don't know, maybe a razor blade, what would slice your tire?
Freddie?
Screw.
Some of those steel plates that are on the roads, they'll have sharp edges. And if you hit it just right, you can get a slice on the sidewall of your tire.
Porcupines?
Porcupines, yeah. That happens. It happens often. So if you do find yourself with a slice, if you get a flat, try to put your inner tube back in. But once you inflate it, the inner tube will squeeze out of the hole of the tire and burst. So what you need to do is block that hole
What do you use to block the hole?
Or you can use a buck,
Like
$1,
$1. Okay, so you could use a 10
a
or a
20,
20. Any kind of paper
$2
money.
bill.
Y'all?
Yeah,
Any kind of paper money is good. So it doesn't have to be a buck. But bucks are good.
But bucks are
Because
good.
if it falls out or something, you won't be as sad.
Yeah, but if you have a 20, that works too. Just don't forget.
Could probably
When
wear
you,
some holes in it.
You might.
If you do forget, make sure you bring it to us for maintenance.
All right, and then keep forgetting about it.
Yeah.
So that's my tip. That's my hack for the week is always carry a buck with you, and if you get a slice, then you can fold the $1 and place it in between the tire and the tube. When you inflate it, then it will keep the tube from bubbling out of the large slice.
That's also assuming you always carry a spare tube, which is a no-brainer, I think. But maybe some people wouldn't think of
Thomas.
that. Well, he uses his spare one so much it's always carry a spare
I
tube.
haven't had a flat in about a year, actually.
Well, Thomas, have fun with that flat tomorrow.
Wow, yes.
That's some wood getting knocked on.
Thanks, Josh. that was nice. All right.
Oh, nice guy.
Next up, we're going to move this along here because we don't have all the time in the world. No one wants to sit here and listen to us all day. So next up is ask an expert. Instead, we're going to ask Josh or maybe Thomas.
We'll ask us.
Yeah. We want to know. Everyone wants to know. This is such a common question that we get in our market, where we're at in our neighborhood, our kind of riders is. A lot of people want to know, well, I just want to go out on the weekend and I just want to ride 10 miles or so, just whenever, just on a path or nice leisurely ride. What do I want to ride?
Well,
And there's could be a bunch of answers, but we need a general,
narrow it down.
yeah, a very general, narrowed down answer.
So, well, first, when a customer asks that, I usually ask them more questions.
You don't have a chance to do that.
I'm going to. You're going to play the part of the customer.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you want to start from now?
Yeah.
Okay. So oh, hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
So I don't do much riding, but they're putting all these bike paths in around here, and I just would love a bicycle. But I don't know what to ride. I mean, when I was younger, I had a Huffy, and it was just okay. But I want something a little better than that.
Okay. Well, you came to the right place. This is a bicycle shop, and we specialize in bicycles.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So first, I want to ask you, how often do you want to ride?
I don't know. I mean, like once a week, maybe twice a week, maybe. I don't know. It depends on if Emily really wants to get out and do some pedaling, or if we're just gonna go, hang out at the local bistro. I'm not sure.
So how? Not so much how often, but how far?
How
Like,
far?
you want to go very far?
See, from
Or
my
not
house,
very far?
from my house to Hobby Lobby is like 8.5 miles.
8.5 miles.
Yeah, so I like to ride there.
Okay, 8.5 miles. That's good. So I'd say I direct you over to this model right over here.
Thank you. That's a good model.
Yeah, pick it up. So I'd say something that would accommodate you to be able to carry stuff with you.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you're going to carry some things if you're going to Hobby Lobby.
You can't go in. You can't come out empty-handed.
You might get a frame. You might get a custom frame made.
Something that says "Home with a Heart" as the O.
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have 7 of those.
String
already.
art.
String art's there.
Yep.
Glue.
Yep. You might.
Sparkles.
You might want to.
So then I might want something with a basket on it.
Right.
Full circle. That was nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'd suggest something like a hybrid
A hybrid?
or just a bike for multi-use.
I don't even know what a hybrid is.
Well, it's something in between a road bike and
So it's like it's got flat bars on it, so it's got a pretty upright stance, but it doesn't have a big knobby tires, right? So it's like a smooth ride.
so you want something with tires that are made for pavement, and you want, since you're a new cyclist and you're not trying to go extremely far distances, I would say something in a more upright position, so you're comfortable.
So like
And if you're not going, sounds like you want to ride a bike more for function rather than exercise.
okay, so So I know you guys carry Raleigh. What's a model that Raleigh carries that I might want to ride?
I would go with this bike over here. It's called a Raleigh Venture.
Oh, okay. This looks nice.
It is nice. It's kind of a multi-use bike. It's more of an upright position. You could
Right there.
It
right
has
there on the-
eyelets on it that you could put racks on,
Racks,
fenders if you get stuck riding in the rain.
Yeah, so basically something upright with some little bit fatter tires on it.
Yeah, the Venture has some
What's this?
wider tires. That's the Detour.
Oh.
There's not much difference.
Yeah.
So it's a simple bike, but it's a good, versatile bike.
7-8 gears, I can dig it.
That's about where our bikes start out.
How much?
$400.
Well, thanks for your help.
It really depends on your budget. Just like anything, you get what you pay for. So if you want to spend money on the low end of the spectrum, you might run into more maintenance issues as time. There goes Pee Wee.
Pee-wee. He didn't even have any beer.
Or did he?
How did that even happen? Dottie.
Dottie did it.
Want to try to, feature some of the stuff we have, some of the stuff we're into, maybe something that comes in the shop that's cool. Today we're going to talk about, there's a longer story that goes along with this. We'll go over another episode, but all three of us have called a Bridgestone Mile 112.
Right, from 1986.
You sure it's not 85?
It's 86.
It's 86. And they are all three completely different machines. Mine's the sexiest.
Right.
Josh's is the practicalist.
Not really.
And Thomas's is the modernist.
And the ugliest.
It depends, So what do you want to say about these bikes? Kind of get a little teaser of the whole spiel we got for this.
Well, we wanted to do a heritage showcase, tell you guys what we're riding because we all have multiple bikes. So we all share one specific bike, and that's the Bridgestone 1986 Mile 112. And
New old stock, maybe.
Yeah, we've come across some older Bridgestones, and we'll go into the history of Bridgestones probably later in another episode. You can Google it, go on sheldonbrown.com.
Don't Google it, wait for us to podcast about it.
Well, that too, but it'll give you a little background. Look on Sheldon Brown's website and read a little bit about Bridgestone bicycles and how cool they are. But we all ended up with same color, this violet purple-ish.
Space violet.
Space violet. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is that what it
In
is
the
in the
catalog.
catalog? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a gray purple.
Yep.
And it fades into the purple. Looks great.
So somehow we've got a hold of three exact same size. We all ride the same size bike, 56 centimeter, and we each kind of changed them individually to fit our personal tastes. Mine is mostly stock, I guess. I changed out the handlebars and grips.
To what? From road bars to what?
Yeah, so it came. It's a touring bike, right?
Yep.
Originally,
Yeah.
like a touring or
It's like a weird touring / triathlon bike.
Right.
Is what it was.
it's a really fast bike. Really fast type geometry. You can feel it as soon as you start riding it. But mine, I changed out just a little bit. I put some Nitto. I don't know what type of bars they are. I can't remember the exact name.
What style of bars are they?
That's what I'm trying to.
They're
think
like
of.
flanged out mustache bar
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I think of them as if you can picture like a cafe racer motorcycle.
Yeah.
They're that type of bar.
Yeah, they're not drop bars, but they come out to the side more, I guess.
Right, and they do drop a little bit, but they're
Yeah.
not
They're
typical
typical.
drop bars. And I put some cool cork grips on there. Still kept the same down tube shifting. I put a Brook saddle on, and it's just kind of a sleek machine.
And it still kept like the old school vibe. You even maybe it made it a little more old school in the 80s, I think, with like
Maybe.
the cork and stuff.
Yeah, it probably does look a little bit older than the 80s, but I like it. It's my style. It's comfortable to ride. It's really fast, and I don't take it out in bad weather or anything. But I just zoom along.
We're gonna preserve them.
Is there
Yeah.
a basket on it?
There's no basket on this one yet, and I've been thinking about it, so it'll probably have a basket on it.
I have a trunk rack on mine. It's got a bag on it. I can put all of my glitter in there when I drive home from
Hobby Lobby.
From Hobby Lobby. We'll see what we do with mine. I put bullhorn. Is that what they're called?
Oh yeah,
Barred.
yeah,
Bars
the
on it.
ugliest.
See?
And with these bar end brakes that are just completely garbage. They just suck so bad.
What kind of bar end brakes are those?
I don't know.
You remember the brand?
No, don't buy them.
Okay. Don't buy them, everybody.
Yeah, they're so bad. And I put some red bar tape on there. It looks like
it matches.
Yeah,
matches
there's some
the
red.
decals.
Yeah, and we all put the same tires on. But yeah, I just put those bars and a rear rack and trunk on mine. Use it, and I put the flip flop pedals on there, dual sided, so I can wear street shoes or clip in. Because this is it's my ice cream go getter when we ride on Sundays to get some ice cream.
Right on.
So Thomas, I think you put the most money and time into his, and then never rode it ever again.
I think I might have put more miles on mine than all of you.
I think he put more miles in one ride than we have on ours altogether.
So what'd you do?
I swapped out the down tube shifters because they're.
We all have down tubes, but Thomas, of course, had to.
Yeah, they're kind of like suicide to me. I don't know. I don't like them. But
when you go get ice cream, you don't switch gears anyway. So
yeah, that's true. I swapped out the 6-speed cassette too for a 7-speed.
Dang.
Put some more modern bars on there, which I really don't like.
Just some regular road drop bars, aren't they?
Yep.
Modern stuff.
Yeah.
You put a quill stem adapter to a threadless stem adapter.
Yeah, which kind of makes it a little weird. Throws it off a little bit, but it's still a comfortable, fast bike. I love it.
When's the last time you rode it?
Last time it was warm and nice out.
That's right. We got to preserve them.
Yeah, it got wet for the first time when I drove it home.
They're really so beautiful. You don't want to take them out in inclement weather. So there's a lot of road salt here in Ohio, and
that Thomas will ride his really expensive road bike in the road salt and leave the Bridgestone at home. Why not?
Jinx.
I'm not editing that out. That's pure podcast magic, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Okay.
I'm not giving anybody a Coke for that, Jinx.
All right, so that's I guess that's what we're riding right now. There'll be a whole segment on those Bridgestones. It was quite an ordeal for a couple days, but we're gonna move on and to get out of here, close this show up, unclip, eat some burritos.
Well, I was gonna add, what if you want to check out some of these bikes? We're gonna post them on our Heritage Cycles Instagram, and you can find them easier if you do a hashtag Heritage Cycles. Forget it already. It's right here in front of me.
Yeah. Showcase. Heritage Cycles. Hashtag Heritage Cycles Showcase. We do have a Facebook, Heritage Cycles. We have a website, heritagecycles.net. The podcast email is heritagecyclespodcast@gmail.com. We also have a Heritage Cycles LLC at Gmail, but anything podcast related should go to the podcast email. So that brings us to the closing, which send us questions, topics, constructive criticism, anything and everything that you want us to talk about, you want us to answer. We need content, and hopefully you'll help us with that, because Josh can't think of all this stuff all the time.
No, I can't. Not even some of the time.
You're right. Yeah, I thought of all this. I wrote this whole show by myself, basically. That's a lie.
You're the man.
That's a lie.
Yeah, you are. We'll pat you on the back later. So, yeah, let's close up. And
Thomas with the sound effects all day.
Knock on wood, pat on the back. That was a seal.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we will be uploading this to YouTube. We still haven't. We're recording this before we've launched, so we're still not quite sure what avenues we're going to have. So we're going to try to just say everything at once.
And we promise they'll get better as we go.
Yeah,
if you're like, I don't know so much about this Heritage Cycles podcast.
Boring.
Well, tune back in next time, and it'll be just a little bit better.
Well, if you're listening to this, there's already more on there, so just watch the next one, because that one's probably better.
Yeah. Don't go back.
Yeah, don't watch our first one. It was weird.
But this podcast was brought to you by Hobby Lobby.
See you there.
Buenas noches.
What is this?